In the early 1960s, I was a young parish priest. I couldn't believe the amount of pain and suffering that was directly related to drug use. I looked around for some solution, some treatment that would help the addicts and their families, but nothing at all seemed to be effective. I couldn't believe, though, that these people would be doomed to live this way.
The climate was one of, I would say, despair, because the newspapers would say once an addict, always an addict. Addicts had terrible, terrible reputations. They had a reputation of never getting well. It was hard to find anybody on drugs who got well.
Nobody understand, and then a lot of delinquents in the street, and they going to the hospital, going even to the Buddhist for a short time more or less, and then it still relapse, a lot of relapse.
Before we began, some 28 years ago, there was really no help for alcoholics or drug addicts. So those that committed some crime went to jail, or they went to the insane asylum, or they paid a psychiatrist, or they did something on their own.
I saw I was losing my son. I saw an intelligent, talented boy turn into something completely unfamiliar. Most importantly, like any mother who sees her son in pain and tries to help, I saw I was helpless. I had no way of helping him. I went to the doctors, even if I knew it was useless. But I went anyway, just to do something, because I couldn't just sit there and watch my child die. I cannot express it in words, but I'm sure that every mother understands this.
To be honest, it wasn't so many facilities for drug users. Practically, it wasn't anything for them. It was the hidden problem in Poland. So nobody wants to talk about the drug users because they weren't exist.
There was no question that medications didn't bring about any permanent changes. And there was no question that there were many addicts and families feeling hopeless and needing something that didn't exist yet. Drug addiction was, and of course still is, a global problem. But it isn't a problem that stands on its own. It's about people, their hopes, their fears, their isolation, their pain, their joy, and their needs. The spread of the therapeutic community movement is a story of people struggling to understand drug addiction and its impact on their fellow human beings.
Therapeutic community is about people. Everything is about people, either inside or outside. Not about theories, people. Not about university, people.
Human beings need to belong to something. If you haven't got the feeling you belong to your family, you feel that maybe it's because you are bad and you don't know why, so you behave bad. So of course nobody loves me because I'm an addict or I steal or a criminal or whatever. Here they learn you can belong to this family as a temporary situation, that you feel you have a place, you are seen, you are heard, and people take notice of you, that you are important as a person. And it gives you a feeling, yes, I'm somebody.
The evolution of therapeutic community principles goes back to Maxwell Jones. He, Harold Bridger, and their colleagues worked in London with post-World War II trauma victims. Bridger noted the similarities between drug addicts and people returning from battle, trying to find their way home. Hospital programs at that time isolated patients from each other. Instead, Jones and his associates developed a group process which insisted on participation by the patients. As a result of accepting responsibility for their own progress, they developed a feeling for their own self-worth, and the interaction broke through their self-imposed isolation. The therapeutic community method began to grow and evolve. The principles of community, self-discovery, peer pressure, and a democratic hierarchy produced the encounter group, haircut, morning meeting, job structure, and all the other tools we use regularly today. The American model incorporated some processes of Jones' model along with the Synanon tenet of community as healer. Although still called the American model, people were using it to develop programs in Germany, Holland, and elsewhere in Europe.
So we had people from Belgium, and from Germany, and from Sweden and Norway, and a lot of countries, Switzerland, Austria, who came here for being some time here and learn by experience what is a TC.
In the beginning, we traveled throughout Europe. Then we also went to America and to Canada in order to see what was being done in other places, in other nations, where the drug problem had exploded before it did in Italy. And we began to become acquainted with therapeutic communities.
We were trying to apply the therapeutic community model using the values of the therapeutic communities in the United States and the methods, as well as the therapeutic communities in Europe, the British model, the democratic model. So the Greek model is a combination between the two models.
In the beginning, we copied a lot in order to adapt it here. Little by little, we realized that we would have to adapt it further into our culture. The most important characteristics were a lot of work with the family. To us, family is very important, not only as a support to those who come for help, but also because of the tremendous historic pain the family has had, unable to do anything about it.
By the mid-1980s, South Americans embraced the TC concept, spurred by the terrible, bleak situation spreading through those countries. The effect of drug trafficking and the numbers of street children came to the consciousness of the rest of the world.
Yes, Colombia is a country that has lived through much violence. Most of our young people have problems with drugs and violence, especially minors who have criminal records and young people who have serious social problems. They are brought to our centers. There are some important ideas I got from the therapeutic community as a universal model. First, the model of self-help. Second, the sense of family, the spirituality that the therapeutic communities share. The therapeutic community as a school of values and basically providing a plan for people's lives. These concepts are universal. Each country adapts them to its needs.
Violence, despair, and drug abuse exists around the world and won't stop anytime soon. The settings are different, but the faces are the same. The therapeutic community is universal because it begins with the individual, but part of its strength is in its adaptability.
I believe the system and I practice the system. That's why I understood. I very clearly understood TC is a life. As a TC like to Buddhism, TC like to Christianity, TC like to Hindus.
Our main goal is to adapt the tools to suit our Thai culture and our beliefs. We couldn't apply the whole concept. We had to make some adjustment before introducing the TC to our system.
Therapeutic community, it's not like a hospital. It's not like a compulsory detoxification center. It's not like a jail. It's about the people, about the life. The therapeutic community care about the life, the people. I think drug addicts, they have a lot of problems. They have no job, they have no family, they have no friends, they have nothing, no hope. But they are human beings.
These girls live in Kunming, China. The room is where they live. They only go out to get money and buy drugs. They go out one at a time. so the other can mind the baby. They smoke heroin now because they can't find a vein anymore. If the police catch them, people with no money may stay in jail for 2 years. Needy, desperate addicts like these Chinese girls are in the same situation as their counterparts in the 1960s, but effective treatment is beginning to be available for them. In 68 countries today, you can find a group of people saying, "Good morning, family." Therapeutic communities bring the sense of belonging and recognition we need as humans. But they are able to respect individual cultures as well. In some, people yell to express their feelings, and in others, they express those same feelings softly. Some meditate, some pray, but they all use their community to heal. Who would have believed it in 1960? And who would believe that this spread continues today to Ghana, to Cambodia, to China, and to Vietnam? International conferences helped spread word of the therapeutic community. Many of those working with drug addicts and TCs went to conferences of the ICAA, the International Council on Alcohol and Addiction. By the mid-1970s, they realized that they were the largest branch of the ICAA, and a group of forward-thinking members proposed a separate association devoted exclusively to therapeutic community treatment and its expansion. This group of men, referred to as the Band of Seven, was composed of Charles Devlin and Thomas Bratter from the United States, Lars Bremberg from Sweden, Frank Wilson of Great Britain, John Devlin from Canada, and Bob Garone from the Philippines. The first World Federation of Therapeutic Communities Conference in 1976 was held in Norrköping, Sweden, and drew over 200 delegates. The second conference, held in Montreal, Canada, drew 300 delegates. The sixth World Conference, held in Manila in 1981, was the first in a Pacific Rim country. Here the WFTC charter was certified. Through the years, WFTC conferences have been held in Asia, Australia, Europe, North and South America, bringing with them the benefits of information sharing and networking.
I would say that the birth of the therapeutic communities in Italy officially began with the Third World Conference for Therapeutic Communities, which took place in Rome and which we had organized.
The World Federation offers opportunities for professional development for TC staff, assistance and standards for the growth of new programs, and for the advancement of the TC method as a professional, successful means of recovering lives. People from all over heard about this new method and were eager to see what they could learn about it. They were frustrated at the lack of success with other means, and when they began to hear of people actually cured of addiction, they were eager to see if this could really be true.
I've had the opportunity to visit many countries and see the work my colleagues are doing. We give our clients hope for life, and those of us who have devoted our lives to helping troubled people need hope as well. When we go to international gatherings, we gain not only information, but encouragement and vision. We hear stories of hope around the world. We reignite our spark of determination to help our clients heal and renew our faith that our work makes a difference.
My experience with the therapeutic community has been fascinating. In the process of treatment, rehabilitation, and reintegration into society, I have seen people recapture the meaning of life, the joy of living, and above all, rejoin society in a positive, useful, and meaningful manner.
So, I think the therapeutic community model someday will be the future of the China to help drug addicts. So the future will be very bright, because there are so many people they need help. There are so many people they cannot find a way to get out of the drug. There are so many people that are living in miserable life. They cannot find the hope, cannot find the future.
Before, my life was miserable. No plan, no direction. I put all my energy in getting drugs and paid little attention to my baby. It's very different now. I have a regular life and goals. It's hard. I need to work hard to make a foundation for the future. I feel I'm become a mother. I hope after finishing program, I can stay clean forever and find a job. My dream will be see my baby grow up, get educated, and have a happy, healthy life.
Now, Ting Ting is starting a new life. Many thousands of others have traveled that path, from hopelessness and isolation to fulfillment, self-respect, and hope, with the help of the therapeutic community.
You know, the thought just struck me how many years I have spent searching for a response to the hopelessness of addiction. The desperation that called out to me also called out to others in so many other lands across the world. Caring about one another is truly native to the human species. And each one of us in this great field of endeavor is working for these lost people who touched our hearts. My joy, still after all this time, is to see hope come to those very beautiful faces.
So I can see